Hi, welcome to my video on the area of a rectangle. This series of videos will be on the areas of the rectangles, parallelograms, squares, rhomboids, trapezoids, and triangle, and area of the circle, etc., etc. So let's find the area of the rectangle. Start off. Area of geometric figures. An area is the space on a flat surface. Area of a figure has two dimensions, and A denotes area. A unit block is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter wide, 1 centimeter tall, has an area of 1 square centimeter, 1 centimeter squared. It has what we call probably a length and a width. It's two-dimensional. A block 2 centimeters by 3 centimeters can be divided into unit blocks. So 2 centimeters, let's divide it this way, and 3 centimeters, let's divide it this way. Notice that each of these blocks are 1 by 1. So the area of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 centimeters squared, or we could go 6 square centimeters. A block 4 by 4 can be divided into unit blocks. 4 by 4, 4, and you can see 4. So let's divide down, and let's divide going across. So 4 by 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 centimeters squared, or 16 square centimeters, either or. In any rectangle, the longest side, length, denoted by L, and the other side is the width, denoted by W. So the longest side is the length in a rectangle, and the shorter side is the width. In number 1 above, the length is 3. Make that a 3. And the width is 2, the shorter. And notice the area, we have 6 centimeters squared. In number 2, the length and the width is the same. So we got 4 centimeters and 4 centimeters. And the area is worked out to be 16 square centimeters. But we know that if you look at these numbers, 3 and 2, looks like you're multiplying to get 6, and 4 and 4 multiplying to get 16. So the area of a rectangle really could be the length times the width, or A denotes area, length times width, or we can write, sometimes you'll see it written down as A equals LW, understood to be a multiplication. So number 1 above is a 2 and a 3, so the area is length times width. The length is 3, the width is 2, that gives us 6, and we fill in the units after. And number 2, area is length times width, and the length is 4, the width is also 4, and we have a 16 centimeters squared. Let's continue. Find the area of each rectangle. We have some examples here. The area, I always write down the formula first, length times width. The length is the longer side, 10. The width is the shorter side, 3. And that gives us 30. And we're dealing with meters, so it's meters squared. So notice we have 10 meters times 3 meters. And meters times meters is exponents of 1. So 1 plus 1 gives us 2. Some teachers require you to write out 10 meters and 3 meters. I just put down 10 and 3 and put my final answer in as meters squared. And B, area of a rectangle is length times width. The length is the longer side, 9. The shorter side is 5. And 5 nines are 45, and the units is inches, so it's inches squared, or square inches. C, we have dimensions of a rectangle is 12 centimeters and 6 centimeters. So that means the area is length times width. So it's 12 times 6, and that gives us 72, and it's centimeters, so it's centimeters squared. When you look at D, we have dimensions of 2 meters and 150 centimeters. Well, we should have the units the same, so we can either convert them to centimeters or meters. And what I do, if I'm not tall, then I convert the smaller units to the larger ones. So 150 centimeters is 1.5 meters, because there's 100 centimeters in a meter. So we divide by 100, we get 1.5. So the area is length times width, and the length is the longer side of 2, and 1.5 is the width, and 2 times 1.5 is 3. So that's 3 meters squared. We could have done it in centimeters if we wanted to, but let's have a look at doing it in centimeters. Length times width. If we did it in centimeters, then 2 meters is equivalent to, or the same as, 200 centimeters. So we have 150 and 200, so we got 200 centimeters, 150 centimeters. If we multiply that, we get 3,000. So we get 30,000 centimeters squared. Again, it is either or, whatever way you wish. But I do the larger unit, keeps the numbers smaller. Practice means pause your video and work these out to see if you're going to get the right answers. Let's go. Area is length times width. The length is 25, the longer side, the width is 6, the shorter side. 25 times 6 is 150, so it's 150 millimeters squared. And the area of this figure, area is length times width. The length is, there's again the same unit, so we're okay. So it's 2.1 times 1.4. Use your calculator. 2.1 times 1.4 works out to be 2.94, and we got centimeters squared. Number 3, dimensions of 2.5 feet and 1 3/5 feet. The area is length times width. The units are the same, so the length is 2.5. The width is 1.35. And when we multiply with mixed numbers, we change them to an improper fraction. 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5 over 2. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8 over 5. And when I multiply fractions, I'm a believer in canceling. 5's cancel, top and bottom. The 2's cancel with a 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. And 4 over 1 is 4. And it's feet, so it's feet squared. Remember, area is length times width, 2 dimensions, so you get a square. It's like an A times an A is A squared. Or Y times Y is Y squared. So area is 2 dimensions, length and width, so it ends up to be a square. And number 4, dimensions are 5 centimeters and, 9 centimeters and 5 millimeters. But 5 millimeters works out to be 0.5 centimeters. So the area is length times width. The length is 9. The width is 0.5. And 0.5 is the same as a half. So it's 4.5 when you multiply, and you get, we convert it to centimeters, so it's centimeters squared. So let's continue working out the area of a rectangle. Find the width or the length. That means we're reversing it this time. So if I give you the area and the width, you got to find the length. If I give you the area and the length, you got to find the width. So let's do some examples. If we have a rectangle, and a rectangle, remember these are all right angles here, indicating, I'm telling you it's a rectangle, so it has a area of 12 square centimeters, and it has a width of 12 meters squared, and the width is 2 meters, so it says find the length. Well, the formula for the area is length times width. We fill in the area as 12. We fill in the width as 2. And if 12 equals 2L, divide both sides by 2, and I get 6 is the length. And again, that's 6. The answer is 6 meters for the length, because the unit is meters. B, it says find the width, and that means that this is the length. There's a rectangle, and the area is 28, so the area is length times width. We fill in 28 for the area. We fill in the length is 7, and we have to find the width. Again, what number times 7 gives you 28? We'll divide both sides by 7, and the 7's cancel out, and we get a 4. So the width, I'm going to write length then, the width is 4, and we're talking about centimeters. So what we're doing in the reverse, we're dividing. If I know the area and the width, I divide the width into the area to get the length. C, find the length if the width is 3.5 inches and the area is 35 inches. Well, let's see, area is length times width. The area is 35. The width is 3.5. And so we divide, so we can do change the 3.5 if we want to 3.5, and we divide 3.5 into on both sides. They cancel out, and 35 divided by 3.5 gives us 10. 3.5 divided into 35. The decimal is 35. The decimal is on the right. Decimal moves one place. 35 to 35 goes 1. Multiply back 35. Bring down your 0. 35 into 0 is 0. So we get a 10. 10, and the answer, the length is 10, and the unit is inches. And D, it says find the width if the area is 4.4 and the length is 4, and they're kilometers. So the area is length times width. The area is 4.4, and the length is 4, and we divide both sides by 4. 4's cancel, I get W, and 4 into 4 goes 1, decimal place, 4 into 4 goes 1, so it's 1.1. So the width is 1.1 kilometers. Practice means pause your video, work out the answers, and play it back to see if you're right. And hopefully everything works great. Number 1, we have an area of 120, and we have 40, and 40 is the length. We want to find the width, so area is length times width. The area is 120. The length is 40, and we want to find the width. So we divide both sides by 40. Cancels out. Cancel the zeros. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the width is 3 millimeters. Number 2, we got a rectangle. This is find the length. That's the width. So the area is length times width. The area is 2 1/3, and the width is 1 2/5. We change them to an improper fraction, so 6 plus 1 is 7 over 3. And 1 times 5 plus 2 is 7 over 5. And we're dividing by both sides by 7 over 5. So we get, they cancel out L. So that's 7 over 3. When we divide, we multiply by the reciprocal. And the 7's cancel, top and bottom. So that gives us 5 over 3. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 1 is 3. And 3 into 5 goes 1, and there's 2 left over. So the length is 1 2/3, and the unit is feet. Again, remind, I don't put the units in working this through. I put the units in at the end. And number 3, find the length of the rectangle when the area is 22.14 square meters and the width is 4.1. So the area is length times width. The area is 22.14. The width is 4.1. Divide both sides by 4.1. And if you take a calculator, that cancels out, give you 1. And when you divide 22.14 by 4.1 on with a calculator, you get 5.4. I use a when I'm doing areas and volumes and all that work, I always use my calculator. It makes the work more accurate. Don't have to be so tedious in working out the calculations. Anyway, that brings us to the end of finding the area of a rectangle, the first one in this series. If you like my video, click on the like button. If you're not a subscriber, click on the subscribe button. And at the same time, do the notification bell. Click on that because there's many videos going to be done. Write a comment on my video if you wish. And visit my website at www.mathfullyexplained.com to get more information about me, my videos, and the content that's on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.